We're going to profile 5 prominent ex-Nazis that were rehabilitated by the United States after World War II and placed in positions of power. I already made a video about how the United States partnered with fascists after the war in order to fight communism, and how the Soviets and China were responsible for the bulk of the fighting against Germany and Japan, respectively. Now I'm going to get into some specific individuals. These are just a few out of the many, but it's clear that the United States doesn't or never really had a problem with the Nazi ideology. It has always existed here, and it is rising in popularity again today. So we'll start with Wernher von Braun. I'm going to butcher a bunch of German pronunciations in this video probably, but anyway, initially he was an SS officer and a lead engineer on the V2 rocket program, and National Geographic has a piece on Operation Paperclip in which they detail that this program specifically relied heavily on slave labor from the Mittelwerk concentration camp, where an estimated 20,000 people died. So this dude joined the Nazi Party in 1937 and the SS in 1940. He was well aware of the conditions and the cruelty. Now fast forward to his time at NASA, where he was the lead architect of the Saturn V rocket, part of the supposed Apollo moon landing. The US Army concealed his SS past, and he actually went on to become a well-known or sort of celebrity scientist of the time. Our next Nazi today is Kurt de Bus, also a NASA scientist. He was an SS member and a technician on the V2 rocket program at a camp called Peenemünde. I'm not sure if that's how to say it, but also, according to National Geographic, was directly involved in slave labor projects. Another Operation Paperclip recruit, de Bus made his way over to NASA, where he eventually became the director of the Kennedy Space Center from 1962 to 74, overseeing various moon missions. And similarly to von Braun, his Nazi past was downplayed, even though he was a very high-ranking official. Next, we have Reinhard Gehlen. He was a Wehrmacht general heading Nazi military intelligence on the Eastern Front. He orchestrated countless atrocities, such as mass executions in the USSR. He was hired by the CIA in 1945, the same year that the war ended, and his job was literally to rebuild Nazi intelligence networks against the USSR, proving that the US cared more about stopping the spread of communist ideas than they did about suppressing fascism, almost as if the US had been the fascist state all along. Anyway, Gehlen started the Gehlen organization, which was responsible for founding West Germany's Federal Intelligence. I'm assuming like a similar organization to the CIA. And they protected ex-SS officers and even helped funnel them into NATO positions. Now let's talk about Adolf Husinger, an operations chief for Nazi High Command. He helped plan the invasions of Poland, France, and the USSR, and here he is strategizing right behind the main homie. He was also present during the 1944 assassination attempt, but obviously avoided any type of punishment. He remained a prominent figure in West Germany through the 50s, and then eventually in 1961 became the chairman of NATO's military committee and served 3 years. The Soviets demanded that he be tried and prosecuted, but no surprise, the United States stepped up and shielded him. Lastly, we have Otto Skorzeny, an SS commando and the boss leader's favorite mercenary. He's responsible for massive war crimes in Italy and even led the rescue efforts of Mussolini. He went on to train pro-Nazi guerrilla soldiers post-1945, and then he worked with West German and CIA intelligence in the 50s, and then trained anti-communist paramilitaries. If you want to learn more about these awful individuals or others like them, you can dive deep into the CIA declassified documents, specifically CIA's CREST database. There's also a book called The Nazi Next Door by Eric Lichtblau, which I'm personally interested in picking up.